Hi guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport. Just hanging out in the truck. Just got done for the day. Anyways, I'm going to show you how you can cheat the Keep Truckin' ELD. I'm not saying I did this. I'm just doing a tutorial on how you could do this. So, if you were running short on time in this hypothetical scenario, not saying I did this. Anyways, this is completely tutorial. So, say for instance you had 3 deliveries in Utah yesterday, and there was a total of 4 deliveries, but you got behind because they weren't unloading you quick enough at 2 of the other deliveries. So anyways, in this tutorial, the person would be able, they dropped 2 loads last night, and then they ended up going to Provo, Utah last night and shutting down by the place where they were unloading at. So they weren't able to unload this person, and so that person wasn't able to get unloaded until this morning. Well, the same person had another delivery in Reno, Nevada today, but because the other places were slow, it screwed up the delivery time. So anyways, when this person that we're talking about, the hypothetical person, when they called the place for the delivery this morning after the Provo, Utah delivery, the people said you have to be in here by 5 p.m. because we only unload until 6 p.m. We shut it completely down. There is no get here at 6 p.m. and we'll still unload you. They have to literally stop working all machines for some sort of noise ordinance in Reno, Nevada. So you have to be here by 5 p.m. Well, on this right here, you can see where the person, and this person actually fudged the numbers a little bit. Now, I'm not saying you could do this, say, for instance, for, you can't run, this person went through a scale one time in Wisconsin, and the ELD was unplugged, didn't get popped for it, but the person was able to correct it there at the scale house. So this person that I'm talking about, I know for a fact that you won't get a citation, but you have to correct it at the scale house. Okay, so I'm talking from proof on this. So I figured I'd do a tutorial on this because I know the person very well. And so, anyways, the person on this ELD didn't actually leave or didn't come out of the sleeper berth at 9 a.m. They actually came out of the sleeper berth earlier than that, or later than that, I'm sorry, for 15 minutes for a PTI and a unload, because it was just 2 straps and they lifted it off with a forklift. So it technically was 15 minutes for the pre-trip and the unload. But you don't really want to do that. You want to do like 23 minutes or whatever the case is. So the reason why this is corrected is this person needed to still run legal. So when they stopped in Wells, Nevada to say they took a break, they actually went back and made it longer. Instead of a 23-minute unload, they made it an hour. Let's see. The unload was an hour, or the PTI and the unload was an hour and 15 minutes and 56 seconds. But that's actually not how long. It was actually a lot shorter than that. But people think that when you take your 8-hour break, that you have to be at 8 hours. DOT regs state that when you come out of the sleeper berth, you have to take an 8-hour break within 8 hours of coming out of the sleeper berth. Okay? Some people have told me that they got rid of the 8-hour break. I haven't seen it, so I don't know if that's fact or not. But anyways, as long as you take your 8-hour break before 8 hours, you're legal. But you can take your 8-hour break at 4.5 hours. You cannot take your 8-hour break before 4.5 hours after coming out of the sleeper berth. So once you come out of that sleeper berth, you can legally take your 8-hour break from 4.5 hours after coming out of the sleeper berth up to 8 hours. Okay. So when this person arrived in Wells, Nevada, they weren't at the 4.5 hour mark. So they had to say that it was longer to unload. Okay. And I know it seems a little complicated. I'll show you how I'm now going to correct it. So that way, if I would have got pulled over by DOT, they would see that I'm legal because I did my break after the 4.5 hours, but before my 8 hours. So because I had to stop there because I had to get fuel, not I, but this person had to stop there because they needed fuel, and they unplugged their ELD, and they're going to go to manual drive time. And I'll show you on this tutorial where it worked on previous days. You can't run like 500 miles and do this, because when DOT plugs your ELD, or when they go into your computer system in your truck, they're going to see that your mileage is off by 500 miles or whatever. So you can't fudge the numbers, but you can manually put your drive time in to your ELD. Like, say for instance you have 11 hours to drive, okay? Say for instance you were super tired or sick or whatever the case was, and you only ran 8 hours that day. So you still have 3 hours. So the next day when you wake up, if you unplug your ELD and you go into manual drive mode, you can make up those. Like, say for instance the next day you feel better and you're like, I got a 16-hour day, in the pilot seat. I know I could do 16 hours. So you want to get that 3 hours back so you're not losing that 3 hours as far as drive time, to make up the next day what you lost the previous day. So say for instance you drove 8 hours one day, but then the next day you feel better and you say, you know what, I can drive 14 hours today. I feel way better. So you want to get, you can drive those extra 3 hours the next day by putting it in your ELD manually. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I am now in Sparks, Nevada. I'm not in Wells, Nevada anymore. So you can see where I went up into the person went up into the sleeping berth. Okay. So if DOT were to stop you, at least you look like my ELD slipped out and it unplugged accidentally. I tripped over the cord when I got out of the door, or whatever the case is. They know you're bullshitting, but they can't prove it. As long as you can correct it, there's nothing they can do about it. Depends on the cop. If they feel shitty, they could give you a citation. I don't know how that would stand up. But anyways, so what I did was I did some math, and I took down some math, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, and my ELD is connected, okay? But I'm going to turn that off. I just hit the leave my vehicle, and now my ELD is not connected, and it's not connected up there. So now I can go in here and I'm going to manually change everything. You can't change the green line. That's automatic on your computer. But anything that's blue, you can change. That's all manual. Okay. So I'm going to get back in this, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to hit my little thing here. And now, actually, I'm going to go back. I'm going to cancel this because you have to keep your times here. So you started driving at 10 a.m., 10 minutes and 56 seconds. So you have to do a pre-trip for 15 minutes, right? So now I know that, and you don't want to make it exactly 15 minutes because they know something's up if you're exactly 15 minutes and exactly 30 minutes on an 8-hour break. So, like I said, people have told me that the 8-hour break is no longer, you don't have to take it anymore, but I haven't seen that. So I'm not going to say that that's true or not, but anyways. So I know that this person started driving at 10:10. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to hit this, I'm going to go to my scissors, and it brings this up now. So I know that at 10:10 I started driving. So at, say, 9:47, okay, is when I came out of the sleeper berth. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in the sleeper, see how it just changed. And then I'm going to go, my location was Provo, Utah. Came up here. And I'm going to put, because it was just 2 straps for an unload, and I was parked right at the receiver. Not I, but the person that we're talking, the hypothetical person. So I'm going to do my pre-trip. Plus unload. And then I'm going to hit the save button. Okay. Now it just changed everything. Okay. Now I went to 9:47. I came on. I was in my pre-trip and my unload for 23 minutes and 56 seconds. Now I have to change this because this isn't valid anymore. So I have to change that. So I'm doing it, but we're talking about a hypothetical person. I'm doing the tutorial, but I'm going to keep saying I because it seems like me, which it's not. But anyways, so now I'm going to hit this, go to my scissors, and then I'm going to come up here, and now I'm going to move this all the way over because you have to take your 8-hour break. Like I said, DOT says as long as you take your 8-hour break within the 8 hours after you come out of your sleeping berth, you have to legally take your break within 8 hours of coming out of your sleeper berth. But it can't be a lot of people think you have to take your 8-hour break at 8 hours. That's not true. It's a DOT reg, and it's in the FMCSA DOT regs that as long as you are within 8 hours of when you first come out of your sleeping berth, but not before 4.5 hours. So when you come out of the sleeping berth at, say, noon, you cannot take your break at 4 p.m. because that's 4 hours after you came out of the sleeper berth. But now if you started your break at 4:30 or 4:45, you could legally take your 8-hour break for 30 minutes. And another thing is whenever I'll use my break to my advantage if I'm unloading or loading. Say, for instance, I've been rolling for 6 hours and I get to my shipper or my receiver and it's at 6 hours since I came out of the sleeper berth. I will go into my break. Say, for instance, you're at a shipper for an hour and a half. You don't want to eat up that whole hour and a half on your clock, right? So then what you do is you go right into your sleeper berth. And you can sit in your sleeping berth for 3 hours if you want. You don't have to stay in there for a half hour. You could stay in that sleeper berth for 2 hours, 3 hours if you want, but just not less than a half hour. So if I get to my receiver and I've been rolling for 6 hours and I know I'm going to be at a shipper or a receiver for a while, say for instance you've been sitting there for 45 minutes and they still tell you it's going to be an hour till you get loaded or unloaded, I'm going to jump up in my sleeping berth right when I get there, and I'm going to stay in my sleeping berth the entire time. Instead of, some guys going to off duty or whatever. No, don't do that. Just go in your sleeper berth because you just say, I got to the shipper or the receiver, and I went into my break mode, and I took a nap because they said they're on lunch or they're not going to get to me for a while. And now you're in your sleeper berth for the whole time. So then you're not eating up that hour and a half, 2 hours, or whatever the case is for loading and unloading. So use that break to your advantage, okay? So now, I know that I came out, I'm going to cancel this. I know I came out of the sleeper berth, and I went on duty at 9:47, right? So now, if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I'd have to take my 8-hour break at 5:47. Okay, so I did some math. Being that this person travels out here a lot, I figured out that I would go to Winnemucca, Nevada. Okay, from Provo, Utah to Winnemucca, Nevada is 5 hours and 49 minutes, 392 miles. But that's for a car, so a truck would take you about 6 hours. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to actually, yeah, I'm going to oh shoot, how am I going to do that? Okay, so let's correct something. I'm going to take this and I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to go to driving, and instead of my 30-minute break, I'm going to do that, and let's see if this works. I don't know how this is. Let's see if this works. Actually, let's write this down so I don't burn it. Actually, I don't know if we can do this or not, but let's see. You know what? No, we're not going to do that. Actually, I'm going to do something different. So, I'm going to say, so that's where I was, which was near Wells, Nevada. But I'm going to say I went on duty, or this person went on duty. And we're going to do a load check. Okay. Now that's a long load check, right? See how I just changed that? And I can change that. Why? Because I'm not in the vehicle. I left the vehicle. So when I do this, I can either hit this and go back into the vehicle, and now it's connecting to the vehicle, and now it turns it back on. But I don't want to do that, so I'm going to hit it again, and I'm going to do leave vehicle. Okay. Now I'm back. Now it's off. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, because I'm already logged in the system now because it saw me stop there. So instead of that, I just said, what did I do? I did a load check. So now I come back here. I hit this. Well, actually, let's do this one. So let's do cancel so you guys can see that. So see that? Now I hit this. That changes. I hit this. Now that comes up. So I'm only going to do a load check for a few minutes, because I stopped briefly just for a load check. Or I can say I did fueling. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do fueling. Let's see how we're going to do that. Actually, I'm on duty anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So from here, I know this is where I'm going to change it. So I know I did Winnemucca, or this person did Winnemucca 6 hours and 392 miles, okay, which is 6 hours from Provo, Utah, okay. So even with this little bit of stop here, now I'm going to extend my time. So now we just go 6 hours, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus a little bit because I stopped for fuel right there. So this right here, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to driving. I'm going to go to location. Shoot, dang it. I forgot to write it down. I got to cancel. I'm sorry, guys. Because you got to make sure that this is exact, because it's not going to bring it up for you guys. Oh, shoot. And hold on one second. I got to grab a pen and write this down. Because that's one thing, is when guys start doing this, if they don't have that exact, then DOT knows you're bullshitting them. So, hold on one second. Northeast of Spring Creek, Nevada. Okay. So, now I'm going to go back in. Sorry this is taking a while, but you're going to have to practice this, and I'll show you how I did this, okay? So, now I go back in, hit this, and it just changed it again. So, All right, and then so I was at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit. All right, now I'm going to do this, hit drive, and then my location was 41.8, 41.8. Now see where the thing here is capitalized? Make sure that you do it exactly how it was in your screen. Miles northeast of Spring Creek, all right, just like that. So you got to put it in exactly how it was. So it's 41.8 miles, small, and then northeast of Spring Creek, Nevada. And then in your notes, you're going to put driving. And then I hit save. And now I just went up to driving. Okay. So right here, where did it say I did my on duty for a load check? All right. Right there. 41.8 miles northeast. So make sure that this and this are identical. Because if not, DOT will get you. Okay. So now you see how one's green and one's blue? That's the computer generated drive, and that's manual. They can't do anything if it's manual because this person may have tripped on their cord, unplugged it accidentally, or it didn't sync with your tablet. We run all tablets on our trucks, and the reason being is it's another DOT reg is you have to have a mounted your ELD has to be mounted. You can't just run your phone. We run tablets on ours. It just looks more professional. So the tablet is the way to go. So now let me turn this around. So now I got to change that on duty. Okay. So I don't want this to be too long. Well, it was only 2 straps, so literally they took like 20 minutes to get the load off. So, and I am now currently empty. So now you add up, it was 6 hours from Provo, Utah to okay, this is where I have to change it right here. Darn it, I screwed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I didn't screw up. Actually, this is where we're going to change it again. So now I'm on duty, but I want to go to my break because I'm within 4.5 hours, but I have to be at my 8, right? So I came on at 9:47. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At 5:47, I would have had to take my break. But it's after 4.5 hours, so I can legally take my break. So now, I want to go here again, and I want to change this, and I want to go here. And it doesn't matter because it just doesn't matter. Because you can be in your sleeper berth for your break as long as you want. Okay, so if you want to make it exactly a half hour for your break, that's fine. You can do that if you want. So now I'm gonna take these things are so touchy, and I'm gonna go into my sleeper. And my location was Winnemucca, Nevada. And I'm going to say I was in my break. And it just changed. Okay. So now I got to go back into my drive time. And I'm saying me because I'm doing the tutorial on this, okay? So you hit the save. Oh, you always got to hit the save button. Okay, now it just changed from here to here. Okay, now I got to change it again because now on this math again, I did from Winnemucca to Reno, Nevada was 2 hours and 21 minutes or 166 miles. What you want to do is you'll take your miles. If you Google that, okay, if you Google that mileage, it's going to tell you. If you do Winnemucca, Nevada to Reno, Nevada, it's going to tell you 166 miles. Now, if you do 166 miles divided by 65 or 60, because there's a lot of mountains out here. I'm light, so I can boogie, and none of our trucks are governed. So, but the thing is if you wanna go ahead and try to do some math on this. You can't say you did 166 miles in 2 hours. I mean, you're speeding, and they're going to give you a ticket for it. You got to make it more reasonable. You got to do, you're heavy, whatever the case is. You have a lot of mountains, bad weather, it's nighttime, whatever the case is. Be reasonable if you guys are going to do this. And what you're going to do is a truck could do it in 166 miles divided by 2.50, I think was like 65 or 68 miles an hour. That's reasonable, okay? So I know that a truck can do it in 2 hours and 2.5 hours, okay? So now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to hit that, hit my thing again, and then I'm going to say I did my break for however long. It doesn't matter because as long as you're within a half hour or more. So we'll just do that for simple math, right? So now 2.5 hours, because it's almost 5 o'clock. So at 2.5 hours is going to be 7:30 or close to it. You don't want to do this shit right on the head either, because they know what's up, right? And then I'm going to hit driving, and then you got to put your location in, which is Winnemucca, Nevada, right there. And then you're going to do driving, and you're going to hit save. Now it just changed it again. And then now you got to do, so if you look here, that's 2.5 hours, right, for the drive time. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look at your drive time here. 3 hours and 15 minutes, 5 hours and 26 minutes. So actually there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. So it was 6 hours for a truck from Provo to Winnemucca. So now on this, you would do 3 hours and 15 minutes, 5 hours, that's about 5 hours and 45 minutes. That's still legal. That's still probably 69 miles an hour. And that's legal, especially if you're light. It was a beautiful day today. There was really, 6,000 pounds on the deck. That's legal. If they look at your BOL, they say, oh yeah, you had 6,000 pounds on the deck. You only had one light load on there because he dropped the other 3 over in Utah, right? I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the theoretical driver, this hypothetical driver. So now you got, it was, if you Googled Provo, Utah to Reno was 8 hours and 12 minutes, and it was like 67 miles an hour. So if you look here, I got 8 hours and 25 minutes, or 8 hours and 15 minutes, sorry. 8 hours and 15 minutes. So I'm within my parameters of being legal. Now I got to make sure that I show my unload here. So now you come back here, hit this, and now I just move these, and oh shoot. Oh, actually, I'll show you. No, actually, Okay, I'll actually show you how you can do this. See where I'm a little off right there? I'll show you how you can change that. So from 7:42 to, it literally was like a 20-minute unload, right? So now I go into on duty, and where I say it was Reno, right? Reno. Reno, Nevada. And what did I do there? Unload. And then you always hit save. See how it just changed? Now I got a little bit of hiccup right there, right? I don't want to say I did that. So now if you come here, see where I'm in this sleeper berth for 10 minutes? I can edit that. And I can just I can add that to my drive time, or I can add it to my on duty. Either way, it's going to come off of your 70 hours. But I want to go more towards my driving, so I'm going to do driving, and that was in Winnemucca, Nevada, right? And then I'm going to hit driving. And then always hit save. All right, now I just increased my drive time from Winnemucca 2 hours and 43 minutes. It looks better for DOT. This is a realistic unload time for a one load, one forklift, literally 2 straps, 21 minutes. There's nothing wrong with that. So, and like I said, you have a BOL to back that up. So it's not like not like when they look at your BOL, if they were going to be jerks about it and look at your BOL and say, dude, you had 10 bunks of lumber. That's not going to take 21 minutes to unload. But if they see my BOL, and I won't say what I was hauling, but if they see my BOL, they'll say, oh yeah, it was 1 stack. Are you shitting me? When you go in and you check in, the guy came running out with the forklift, like literally probably took him 10 minutes to pull it off the truck. And then another 2 minutes for me to roll up my straps. But anyways, so now I have to get from where? From Reno, Nevada, right? The focus is here. Yep, Reno, Nevada, to where I'm at in Sparks now. So now, but that only took 15 minutes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, all right, I can do this sleeping berth here because that's where I'm at right there, the sleeping berth, right? I can hit that and I can hit edit and see where it just marked it. I'll redo that. I'll hit cancel, and then I'm going to hit the edit, and it just changed it. Now, this is just for simplistic reasons. So I'm going to hit driving again, and then I went from Reno and driving, and it took me, oh shoot, darn it, I didn't want to do that. Shit, I just went into drive mode. I didn't want to do that. Darn it. All right, I'm gonna have to go back on duty. Sorry, off duty. And you can do whatever you want, because you can change whatever you want here. So, all right, so now I got to change this. Darn it. Let me clean my lens real quick. All right, I hope that's better. Sorry. All right, so now I have, that's why, because I have, my ELD's disconnected. All right, so now, let's see, how am I going to do this? Right here. So I'm not going to edit that. So I have driving for 53 minutes, right? But I don't want that, because it only took me 15 minutes to get from Reno to Sparks. So what do? I hit this, I hit this, and then I can change this. Sorry, I'm trying to look at it with my eyes and not with the phone, because it's throwing me off. Sorry, guys. So if you can bring this will never, you can never take that to the left. You could take this one to the left, but that's all you got. You can, and then you can go this, but that's all. You can never go past the current time. I can go all the way over, or I can go like this, but you cannot go all the way past your time. So it only took me 15 minutes, and I can actually, if I actually, that's fine right there. So now I'm going to change this because I have my drive right there, but it only took me 15 minutes. So now I'm in the sleeper mode because I went from Reno to Sparks, right? From Reno to Sparks. Now I got to go up into the sleeper. And then where did I do my sleeper at? Sparks, Nevada. And then I just do this, go to sleeper. And now let's see how much. Okay, 24 minutes from drive time. I could shorten that if I want to, but I don't really care. The main purpose of this person doing this on the hypothetical tutorial was to correct it all. Okay, so now I know, if you look in here, and I always keep this in mind too. So you have your current drive, which is all legal. You have your 8-hour break, which is legal. You have your unload and pre-trip, which is legal. You have your fuel, which is legal. You have your unload, which is legal. You have your drive time. All your drive, everything here is all legal. This is all legal specs. DOT doesn't know if because all the mileage is going to be the same. Now I'm going to show you how you do your mileage. Like I said, always make sure your cities, it keeps changing when I put my big finger in there. Always make sure that all your cities are all the same, especially when they do this. Okay, so just make sure that all this is the same. Okay, now what you're going to want to do is you got to go into your form and see my miles. 219 miles. Well, that's not correct. So what I did was I hit my trip today when I got fuel, or I keep saying me, but this is all tutorial. This is all hypothetical. This isn't me. So anyways, the current trip was 346 miles. Okay. So that was the trip when this person hit the trip after they got fuel. So the total miles for the day would be 565. Now you got to write this stuff down too. You can't just guess. So the actual miles were 565 miles for the day. When I Googled the distance from Provo, Utah to Reno, Nevada was 557 miles. So there's a discrepancy of, was it 65? Yeah, 565. So there's a discrepancy of 8 miles. Okay, which I don't think is too bad for, come on, focus, man. That's frustrating. Anyways, there we go. So the legal miles for the day was 565. The Googled miles was 557. You can use Google as much as you possibly can. Utilize that Google, man. I mean, that's why we have the technology we have. Now, when you go into the form, and you can go into your logs, you can go back into your form, see the miles for the day, 219. If DOT sees that, you're going to be screwed, right? And you can see my name in there. I don't care. So anyways, this is all legal. This is all tutorial. So I'm in my training mode right now. So anyways, so what you do is you hit that, and now you can change your miles. And the legal miles for that day were 565. When you're done, you hit done. All right, let's do that again. Hit your miles. That comes up. You input you can back it out so that all this goes to 0. So you can back it out. Watch. As soon as I hit this back button, the miles just changed to 0. So you hit 565 for for your legal miles for the day, and then you hit done. And then that's it. And then always hit the save. You always got to hit save. Always. Okay? So, and then always make sure you sign your log, right? So let's go back and we'll look at everything's legal. Now, had this all been legal, or now this is all legal, okay? I mean, it's not legal in what I'm doing right now on the tutorial. I'm just showing you how you could get around making up time that you need to make up, okay? So if you have, if this wouldn't have happened here, this load would have never been unloaded, okay? Because I wanted to fund the load tonight, and then I have to look for a load out of here tomorrow. So that means I wouldn't have been able to unload until tomorrow morning, which would have screwed up my whole day, okay? And I didn't do anything illegal. I mean, on the tutorial, you didn't run past, 11 hours drive time. You still took your break. You still logged everything. It's all legal. So you're just manually putting it in because your ELD unplugged or your tablet didn't sync to your ELD transmitter or transponder, whatever they call it. Okay. So now, that's it. Now you're done. So now this is Midwest time, right? Which would have been, let's see, the unload would have been at 7:42 Midwest time, which would have been 5:42 here. The lady said that the person had to get there by 5. If they didn't get there by 5, they weren't going to unload them. So that would have been 5:42 in Reno time. So that means that they wouldn't have unloaded you. They would have waited. You would have had to have waited till tomorrow. And then instead of looking for a load out of here, now you would have been unloading there because their unload time was from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So that means you get there at 9 a.m. Now you got to sit there for who knows how long. And then you're trying to get another load out. You could be stuck here for the whole weekend because tomorrow's Friday. So anyway, so that was the importance of the tutorial, was to show you how you can do this and still be legal. Okay. Like I said, this is all just hypothetical. This is just, I'm in my training mode right now. So in my ELD, you can go to training mode. So now on this right here, so we go to yesterday, and there's more manual drive time. Okay. So everything is legal. So you got 1, 2. So up in the sleeper berth, you got a little over 2 hours, and then right over there. So you're within all the stuff that you need to do. I mean, it's not. All right. So we have Thursday. Now let's go to Tuesday. Tuesday, same thing. Was all green is computerized, and blue is manual. Okay. So nothing. Like I said, nothing is illegal. It's all legal. I mean, your tablet's not going to sync to your ELD all the time, and that's why you have a backup paper logs if this goes down. So is DOT going to believe you if it's put in this way, or are they going to believe you if you have a paper log? I would rather show them this than a paper log, because you can see where your green is legal. That's your computerized. This is your manual. If you guys have any questions, leave comments, and I can help you out as much as I possibly can. I hope that this tutorial was informative. You probably have to watch it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times to get it. But like I said, it's better than the alternative of not being able to get unloaded or whatever. So I'm going to eat my chili now that my beautiful wife makes for me and packs my freezer full of food. And I'm going to look for a load out of here. So I hope this was informative. If it was, and you have any other questions, leave any comments. Or you can call me, 414-477-7845. Kurt, just I'll be willing to help anybody out. Like I said, this is just a tutorial. This is just training mode. So anyways, I've been playing with this for quite some time, and I figured out kind of a way you could beat the ELD, kind of. But always stay legal. Never drive tired. Never drive under the influence. Always stay legal to DOT regs. But like I said, if you wanted to, and if you want to play around a little bit, go ahead and do this. I'm not telling you to do this and drive like this. I'm just saying a way that you hypothetically could, if you wanted to, you could possibly do it. And like I said, if you have any questions, give me a holler. I run everything legal. Our drivers run everything legal. But like I said, this is just a hypothetical tutorial on the training site on the ELD. And if you found it helpful and informative, please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.